Happy New Year. This is my December wrap up. I didn't read as much this month as I have been because I was kind of in a slump, and I also didn't have as much time, and I also was watching more TV. So I only read like 7 books. It's kind of pitiful actually compared to the 13 I've been reading. But yeah, this is Trader Joe's instant cold brew in this cup. Okay, let's get into it. Why don't we? The first book that I read this month was The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, which is a book about this group of women and girls who were like the daughters of old classics. So you have Dr. Jekyll's daughter, Anne Hyde's daughter, and some other daughters. Sherlock Holmes and Watson make some appearances. There's like a murder mystery kind of thing happening. I think what really was great about this book is it's the girls like writing it, and they're like all together, and they like interject into each other, and they have like little conversations after the fact of like the action that they're writing about. And it was a really interesting storytelling device. It's also like a really great like found family. I think they and it girl power. So I really enjoyed it. I'm hopefully going to pick up the sequel this month. So I think I gave it 4 stars. So it was a pretty good read. The next book that I read this month was The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes, which is a story about a 90s girl band. And you are like you read them while they're in their prime, but they're also like it starts with them finding out that Cassidy Holmes died. And so you like get the backstory, and honestly, it just kind of read like a less good Daisy Jones and the Six. I felt like it was trying to do a little bit too much, and there were a lot of details that weren't fleshed out. There were a bunch of characters that weren't as fleshed out as they could be, but I did enjoy it. Like I think I read it in maybe one day. I don't know when I started it, but yeah, I think I read it really quickly, but it was just lacking something, you know. It was like just okay, so I ended up giving it 3 stars. The next book that I read this month was Watch Over Me. This is a story about a girl who like is graduating out of foster care, so she goes to live on this farm where this family has a bunch of foster children or children that they're gonna adopt, and they're like kind of famous, but not really, like small town famous, but about like why about having adopted multiple, like a bunch of kids, and they just have this like farm that's like a safe place for foster kids, people who've been through traumatic experiences. And the like main character goes there, and she's teaching, like what she's doing is teaching, and there are other people there who are teachers for like the younger kids, and they all like take turns cooking and stuff. It's a really short book, but it packs a punch, and you like explore her trauma with her, and ghosts are real on this farm. So it was super haunting and poignant and really beautiful, and I gave it 5 stars. I liked it a lot. I don't know if I'm doing it justice describing it, but I don't want to spoil it. I feel like you should just read it. It's really short. Pick it up. The cover, beautiful. The next book that I finished this month was Caste: The Lies That Divide Us, and this is a nonfiction book about the caste system in America and like looking at race as if it is a caste system, but also comparing that and like about the caste system in India and the caste system of Nazi Germany. And first of all, the like style that this was written in is really different than anything, like any other nonfic that I've read recently. It was super interesting. It was never like boring. And I learned a lot. It was actually really powerful as well. Like it's a take that I haven't seen made before. And pick it up. I gave it 5 stars. It was really good. I learned a lot. The next book that I finished this month was Home Before Dark, which is a mystery thriller about a girl who goes, like, her parents and her lived in this house that's haunted that when she was like 5, and they like fled the house after 20 days or something like that. And then her dad dies and she goes back to the house because she thinks that it's all fake. And there are twists and turns, and you get the book within a book element. And I went into this and thought I was gonna like it. I read like the first 50% of it and I was like, this bitch is whiny and I don't care, and I can't stand it when people are like, ghosts aren't real. Like, you're in a haunted house story. Like, ghosts are real. And so I was frustrated. I was like, I don't really like this. But then something happened. Something changed. I started to like her more. Probably not. I didn't like fall in love with her as a character. And then the twists and the turns and like the ending. I was not expecting it, and it truly did thrill me, and I really liked this one way more than the other Riley Sager that I read earlier this year. So props to him. Why does he only ever write women main characters, like young girl main characters? I don't know. Makes me feel weird a little bit. But other than that, I think that this is a good book. And I gave it 4 stars. I was thrilled. It was great. Okay. The next book that I read this month was Crazy Stupid Bromance. This is a romance. It's the 3rd book in the Bromance Book Club series, and those books are about this book club that these men are in, and they like help each other fix marriages or like get in relationships, and they all read romance novels, and they're like kind of woke, I guess. And I liked this. I did enjoy it. I read it all in one sitting, but it wasn't like it was unputdownable. Maybe I actually didn't read it all in one sitting. And it wasn't as good as the first 2 books in the series. I don't know if I just didn't connect with the story. I don't think that there were enough scenes with the actual Bromance Book Club. Like, you're connected to these characters, and like, yeah, I liked Noah. Yeah, I liked Alexis, but I also like other characters. I like the Bromance Book Club. I miss my homie Gavin. Where is he? And the like subplots in this were not like my favorite. So I gave it 3 stars, but I will be picking up the next one because it's about the Russian, and that's going to be a really fun time. So the last book this video is going to be short. The last book that I finished this month, I actually started in November, but I also in November switched from a like online library card to a physical one. So all of my holds on my online stuff and all of my audiobooks and stuff went away, and like I was 50% in the way of this book, and then I had to like, it was not mine anymore. I had to return it, I guess, because I switched over. And then had to renew my hold, and then it came back. So I finished it this month. But it's Hood Feminism, which is a book about intersectional feminism. It's about how white women feminists suck. I mean, not really. That's like dumbing it down. But what it does is the author looks at different problems like in the community and makes them feminist problems, and is like, if we can't fix poverty for women of color, if we can't fix like food insecurity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, like these are feminist issues, we have to focus on these before we can focus on other things that are like getting more attention in the feminist community. And it was super interesting. The audiobook slapped, you know, it was good. I love a good nonfic narrated by the author. Yeah, I gave it 5 stars. I think you should read it. And that's all. I really dropped the ball this month, I guess. But on to the next.